Is the Black Manosphere fighting for wages?
To increase their wages, yes. Black men are not
Oh,
fighting to increase their wages. You don't think so?
you send me the video and I'll concede to it. Even
It-
one video and I'll concede to it.
that they're not that they're fighting for wages. I
Yeah.
can YouTube any link to show you a black man fighting for wages.
Send me the link of the Black Manosphere fighting to increase their black men's wages, and I will concede to it.
Okay, give me 1 second.
All right. She interchanges black men in history with them. Yeah, that's what she's doing, and that's disingenuous. But I want to see the video of black men online in the manosphere fighting for weight. Oh, I did not kick her off, just FYI. Stacy?
Yeah, how you doing, Themis?
Doing well. How are you?
I'm good. So I wasn't trolling. I was having a hard time getting on the platform here.
Oh, no, you're fine. Wait, what was your issue?
I forgot the password to my my Google account.
No. Oh, sorry. What was the issue with this live? With feminism?
Oh, you said that there's no correlation to feminism, and I forgot what he was. To be honest, it was so long I forgot what he was talking about.
No. Oh, okay. I didn't say there's no correlation. I said the person debating needed to create the correlation between feminism and the destruction of the black family.
Oh no, I said you were gaslighting based on the comment you made with what the guy said when he was comparing feminism to I guess the red pill community. That's what you guys call it.
You think they're the same?
I don't think they're completely the same, but there is similarities, yes. So go ahead.
So the feminism movement, I would agree, was created to uplift women. Uplift women from what?
From everything they were dealing with in the past. Let's say, because of the feminist movement, we're able to vote, right? We're able to do things. We're able to now work without giving our wages to men, because that was a thing where if we actually had to work, we had to give our wages to men.
All right, wait. So let's do structural issues, right? That feminism combated. Let's say the structural issues were working and voting, right? Women could not work and keep their check, and they could also vote, right? Mm-hmm. In this system, who were the oppressors?
Men. You can say the government, because they were keeping us from voting.
If women couldn't vote, women weren't in the government, right?
Not during that time, no, but that's not my position. Yeah.
All right, no, I'm getting it. All right, okay. So we're talking about structural inequalities that existed for women that prevented them from working and keeping their money, and specifically, let's say, keep them from voting. So they were removed from political life, essentially, and the people who created and maintained those structures were men. All right. How is the manosphere similar to that movement?
Okay, so what I was commenting on, you said that because men make the laws, that they can't see any injustice, and I said that's
I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
Okay, that's how I understood it to be. That's why
I said, how can you complain about a system you claim that you created, and you're the powerful one in that system? Women don't create anything, essentially, was the word verbatim for what these men have said in the past.
So just because you're creating laws to structure and organize a society doesn't in turn mean that you're going to control someone's thought process. Someone can still commit crimes. Someone can still do whatever they want based on their freedoms.
Wait. Are you then conceding that there were no laws that were oppressive? Not no laws, but laws weren't generally oppressive to men?
Say that again. Sorry, I missed it. What
laws were oppressive to men?
I never said there was laws oppressive to men. Maybe black men, yes, but there weren't laws oppressive to men in general. There were. So if you're breaking it down by gender, then that's different. If you're putting men on a bracket as a whole, you can't say black men were given the same rights as white men or Hispanic men or Asian men, because that'll be gaslighting, right? Black men were suppressed by white laws. So
wait. Black men were oppressed and subjugated under a system of white supremacy. Yes, agreed. That's not what I'm asking. How are you comparing the feminist movement geared towards the liberation in some ways of women, acclimating them into the political life of America, to what the manosphere is for? I don't see how you can compare the two.
Because you're pretty much saying that what the men are going through now, and trust me, I'm not in a stance of protecting them 100%, because there's a lot of things
No,
that
no,
I
no, no. You
agree
don't
with
have to
you with.
qualify. You don't have to qualify. I promise you, you're fine. I
No,
just want
because
to.
I'm trying to get an understanding of where your position is, and I'm trying to understand what you're not understanding.
My
What I'm saying.
position, simply put, is
Uh-huh.
that the manosphere and the feminist movement have very little, if anything, in common.
Okay, and what and in which way do they not have anything in common? Because I want to see your perspective.
In the way that there were structural inequalities that exist that triggered the feminist movement, I would argue that the manosphere does not have the same kind of issues that women actually had.
So you're right on that sense. You can't compare the actual issues that women are going through to the same extent as a white man, right? Because again, that's just stupid. But at the end of the day, the way it's structured and what they're complaining about, they're not complaining about inequalities. They're complaining about the fact that they're not looked as men anymore, right? They're not given the same extension that their grandfathers or whoever were given, right?
What would
There's
that be?
women
Wait,
taking positions.
what was those extension?
Like, if you look in the past, men were providing, they were protecting, right? Women were in the household.
I would
Well, I
disagree with
have to
that.
finish my sentence in order for
Wait, no,
you
no, no,
to
no, 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 no.
understand.
Yeah, no,
Go
but
ahead,
I'm
go ahead.
stopping you at a point where I think you made a statement that was inaccurate.
I,
Women were not at home taking care of children, and men were working. That
we're
that
not
was
talking
not.
about we're not talking about this generation.
I don't
So
think there was any generation, unless you're saying white women.
of course there's always ones and twosies, right? There's always ones and twosies where not all women are at home taking care of children. If you're looking at statistics, the majority of women were at home taking care of children in the past. Now, if
Wait,
you're breaking
wait,
it down
I'm
to genders, I mean, not genders, if you're breaking it down
race.
to race, then the statistics differ, right?
Yeah, yes, that's
But
what I
the
meant.
thing is, what the manosphere is doing, and what I noticed, they are using statistics that generally go towards more white males, and and white females, and they're using it as though that's their reality, right? And we tend to say, oh, you're incorrect, you're this, that, and the third. But the thing is, they haven't dealt with that reality, and they're using someone else's reality to in turn sway a conversation on their side. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but if they haven't experienced that, then again, how are you comparing their plight to that of why the feminist movement exists? Before you go, I'll re-ask the
Yeah, go
question.
ahead.
The No Child Left Behind parties have so many holes in their ideologies and understanding of history. Jazz said, thank you, Jazz. What are the similarities between Black men's position in the Black manosphere and Black women's push for voting rights?
I guess they're rights, right? So
Yeah.
so back then, could black males vote?
Huh?
Back then, could black males vote?
When are we talking about?
We're just talking about in general. They had to fight for their voting rights, right?
Yes. So
Okay.
are we talking about the suffrage movement?
No, I'm just trying to see what page you're on, so that if we're on the same page, then we could move on from this specific topic, right? It's the white males and black males you can't compare to when you're talking about generational suffrage, right? You just can't compare the two. You can't, because white males were making their laws and they were forcing groups of people to do what they wanted, right? So
wait. The question you just asked have me thinking you might not understand what happened during the women's suffrage movement and
no,
when.
I understand.
All right. So when you say voting rights for
No,
African Americans,
that's just one example.
but
That's just one. I'm just trying to pass by this example so that you can understand my position in saying what I said. When I said black males, yes, they were treated, because white women couldn't vote too. White women didn't have the rights that white males had. That's just what it is, right?
yeah,
That's
yeah.
just facts. Just like black women didn't, right? Black males were in that same category. You can't
Wait,
deny that.
Are you saying black men did not enter political life before black women? Like, I'm
No,
confused.
that's not what I'm saying. See, what you're thinking is just because I'm saying one thing, that it's gonna solidify another subject, and we're not even in that topic. You get what I'm saying?
All right. Let me step back so I can
Yeah, go ahead.
seek to understand instead of like debate or argue, because I'm actually not.
No, go ahead.
Arguing. All right. How is, and I'll let you explain, how is the manosphere
Sorry, I don't know what happened. It
No, no, you're fine, you're fine,
just
you're
dropped
fine.
me. What was
Yeah,
your
no, no.
question?
All right, can you explain to me again, and I'll let you go uninterrupted
Yeah.
for a minute. Can you explain to me how the manosphere is similar to the feminist movement?
In regards to what exactly? Just as a
In your mind, you said I was gaslighting by saying they weren't. So I want to know how they were.
so the manosphere to me, and I don't know if this is a fact or opinion, is really generalized towards black men. Like black men are the manosphere, in my opinion, right?
Well,
Because
I mean, there's a white manosphere, but yeah, for this
yeah,
conversation,
yeah,
let's
like
limit it to
we're
the
gonna
black.
deal that with that portion.
Yeah.
To they've dealt like black males have dealt with the same things that black females and white females and females as a whole dealt with in their past, and and I'm not saying us specifically, this generation, but our our grandmothers, our great grandmothers, whatever. um Black men had to deal with that same issue. It's
What
not like they
issue?
were
What
given
issue?
any position, the for instance, they couldn't work, the voting rights, they were forced to provide free labor, things of that nature. The same thing with women, right? Women, regardless of race, had to provide, well, not really regardless of race, but black women had to provide free labor because they were then pushed into, whatever the case may be. They weren't allowed to vote. This was white women as well. They were literally fighting for their rights, women in general, just as men were, right? So you can't, not men in general, but black men were. So you can't see like you can't tell me you don't see the correlation to that. You can't see similarities to that. Now, if they're being misogynist and saying,
Wait, no, no, no,
"Oh,
no, no, no. We can
go ahead."
ignore the misogyny. We are taking them for why they were created, and we're giving them the benefit of the doubt in
Oh,
the
why
best
they were
case.
created? They were
No,
created
wait, wait,
just,
wait.
yeah.
In
Go
the
ahead.
best case ever. So I'm trying. Let's say men had concerns. They came together, created the manosphere to
Mm-hmm.
deal with their concerns.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to find out what those concerns are and how they are similar to women's concerns.
So like he said in the video, you know how women were concerned that they weren't being heard? The manosphere is literally surrounded by the idea that they feel they're not being heard by the opposite gender.
Yeah,
We
but to
can agree
reduce,
to
wait,
that,
wait, wait,
right?
no, 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 no,
Go
we
ahead.
can't. That's what I'm
Okay.
saying. The to reduce feminism down to women wanting to be heard would be uh, um, an understatement of feminism in a way that does not even start to scratch the surface of the problems feminism was designed to fix. Agree with it or not agree with it. When we look at the scope of the things that the manosphere are talking about and the scope of what feminism, at least in the first, second wave of feminism, attempted to deal with, I don't think they are even comparable. Even now, when we talk about wage and the wage gap, to the extent you believe there is a wage gap, right? I don't think that is anything the manosphere is saying is on par with the wage gap. Right. And that's like one of the simplest things that people disagree with regarding feminism. But if we're talking about the inception and trying to introduce women to the political life, you can disagree and say women shouldn't be able to vote if you want, but it seems disingenuous to. One second. Themis, just tell her you don't want to understand and move on. She was not trying to reduce the feminist movement. Tony,
Thank you. Thank you, Tony.
yeah, Tony, come through for her.
But
Please block. Wait, no, 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 no.
go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
Please block Tony if he comments again without coming on. The link is at the top. He should be blocked if he doesn't get it. Come on. You do not let this woman is up here. Sorry, Stacy,
No, go ahead, go
arguing.
ahead.
Stacy is up here arguing for me to see how the manosphere is similar to the feminist movement. And we have a man, presumably in the manosphere, right? And instead of coming to help you explain what is happening, he's sitting and hiding while you have to come up here and make the argument for him because he's too scared to come and do it. That in and of itself is a problem for another day. But continue. Wait, her argument is false.
Give me a
During
second.
Reconstruction, black men should vote and were the US Senate. Stop misstating history for the false equivalency. Yeah, well, that's what I was. I think that's where I was like trying to figure out if she believed black men couldn't vote. After what we oh, black men have left their families at an increasing rate for 100 years. White men,
But that's not
displaced
what I'm
white men
arguing.
in the
His
workplace.
point is it's
Black men in ability to provide and willingness to abandon their family. I'll leave this comment up for a moment. Please block Tony if he comments again. It is what it is. Like, I'm not about to sit here and argue with someone in the chat when the link is here. All right, make your argument now. Sorry.
Okay, so I'm not saying they keep bringing up points of something completely different, right? Black men had the same struggles that women had to deal with, right? You can't deny that. You really can't deny that, right?
Wait. You said black men had the same struggles that black women had to deal with?
Similar struggles that black women. I can't lump it all in one hole and say, oh, they had the same exact struggles.
I would agree that both black men and black women faced, and maybe are still facing systemic oppression and racism generally. Thank you, Doctrine. I don't think, I'm not disagreeing on that point.
No, I know what you're not disagreeing on, but I have to bring up that point in order to explain my position, because what you're taking my words to make it seem like I'm putting an imprint on one specific thing, and that's not what I'm doing. Just because I said women were fighting, for a better position, doesn't mean that I'm negating all the struggles that they dealt with, right? I'm just saying that to simplify the argument as much as possible. And the same thing with black men. They were struggling and fighting for whatever they needed to do to get to the position that they are now. That you can't sit here and say they weren't.
Yeah, but were they fighting black women, or did they need to fight black women to get to that position, or the system?
The system itself.
All right.
I would actually argue they did not fight anything, and their struggle is not the same as black
How
women.
You doing, Cynthia?
Because here's the thing: black women are double oppressed. We are oppressed by gender. We're oppressed by race. Black men are only oppressed by race. That's it. But they actually have an advantage. They have a male advantage. So black men have listen, the only thing black men actually, as far as I'm concerned, everybody else have their own opinions, but my opinion on studying history is that the only thing that black men have actually fought the system for was access to white women. It just is what it is.
Yes, I agree with that. I'm not arguing that point.
Wait, but if you agree with that, and you said they fought to get where they are today, the manosphere, at least...
they didn't fight. They didn't fight to get where... But black women fought. Black men don't fight because they don't want to fight other men. That's the thing. And it's like one thing that I noticed, and it's what I posted. It's really what I posted on my community wall. As I'm studying the nature of males and females, black men are not in any way, shape, and form. They're absolutely not operating in manhood. They're not. There's no possible. Anybody who says that black men are operating in manhood is lying.
Wait, let me read.
You're correct on that. In this generation, no, they're not. But in the past, you can't. Okay, so if you look
even in the past, they weren't. Let me stop you now. Even in the past, they weren't. If you go to the Moynihan report, they will tell you that since even being on the plantation, there were female-headed households. Black men were never the breadwinners. They were never the head of the household at all. They were always lacking behind. They were always less educated. There was one period when they were more employed, but that was based off their maleness and the fact that women didn't have rights. But other than that, they weren't the main breadwinners. They were not fathers. They were never protectors. They were never providers. They weren't. They've never been that since they've been in this country.
You do know that black men are making more money than black women, right?
They're paid more.
I can't hear you. What you say?
They're paid more when they're employed. They're paid more. But in terms of actually having money, black women have more money than black men.
But before we continue, she's trying to make sense of Manosphere talking point, and you can tell she's never been challenged properly. She's all over the place. Myth, the onus is on you to convey what you mean. If you don't have the language, just say that, because to be condescending like we are slow is whack. I don't know why you are comparing black women's income to black men.
This is what Cynthia brought up. I never brought up income.
No, I didn't bring up their income. You actually did. You said that black men have more money, and I said no.
I said that because you said they were never breadwinners.
They weren't.
But if you look at statistics, it shows that black men are making more money.
So here's what you're not understanding. A person being paid a higher wage and them having more money is two different things. Are black men paid a higher wage when they are employed? Yes, but they are less employed than black women. So that means black women have more money than black men do because black women are more employed than black men are.
I'm confused also. Is the implication that because someone makes more money that they...
we weren't even talking about money. We were talking about the comparisons to feminism and...
All right.
The goalpost has just moved to something completely different.
No, all right, we'll move it back. I'm trying to understand. You do know when you say they're the breadwinner to explain that, you also have to talk about how they are leading their household or bringing money to their household. Saying that they make more money on its own doesn't mean you're taking care of the family.
I never said that, though. I never said that. That never came out of my mouth. I just said they're the breadwinners on average because they're bringing in.
They're not, but that's not true. They're not the breadwinners on average. Just because they get paid more when they're employed. Black men are the least employed population. So no, they don't have money. Right. So, but I think you're not understanding that.
No, I understand, but I'm trying to get back to the book. I do understand. You're saying that although the average Black man is making more money than the average Black woman, more Black women are employed than the average Black man.
Right. So they have more money. Right.
Okay,
Hold on. Then wouldn't that
mean finish my sentence?
Wouldn't that mean that Black men don't have as much money as Black women if they're not as employed as Black women?
You're arguing a point that we didn't even discuss during this panel at all. Okay, if that is
you literally just made that point.
No,
but sure.
You did. If that is the case, then that is fine.
Right. Let's get back to the point of comparing the feminism movement. Also, welcome, Sinji. Sorry.
Yeah. Thanks, Cynthia.
Hi. Sorry I came in like that.
But you're okay. I love to I like to understand certain things. If I'm wrong, then I can, take that hit. Like
I just sense a little hint of black male worship, but it is what it is.
No, I'm definitely not black male worship.
All right, but so then let's do it. The manosphere is similar to the feminist movement. That is your stance.
Not as a whole, but if we're talking about Black men, they have their similarities. Yes, that is my stance.
So Black men have similarities in terms of their fight.
Yes.
With the feminist movement. How?
I just explained all that. If you look at what women had to deal with throughout, our grandmothers, our great grandmothers, us in general, they're dealing with the same issues. I'm not saying maybe not today. That's one thing I agree with Cynthia on. They're not doing anything today at this point. But if you're looking at what they had to overcome, right? They had to overcome similarities that women had to overcome.
See, you said I was gaslighting, and this feels very gaslighty. Because if we're saying back then, was the manosphere back then?
What's your question? I'm sorry, you just stopped. I thought you were going to continue.
What's the manosphere back then? We were talking about how the feminist movement is similar to the manosphere.
The Black manosphere, yes.
Yes. Came with the internet, right? And access to computer, and then YouTube and people making videos on there. So you cannot say the struggles that our forefathers went through, in your mind, was similar to the feminist movement, if that's what you were arguing in terms of the manosphere. You can't do that. So when you say back, if you say they're not doing anything now, how is that similar to the feminist movement?
We were talking about the difference, like the similarities that Black manosphere has compared to feminism. That's what we were discussing.
Yes.
Yeah.
So and you just said they're not doing anything now.
So in terms of growth, no, they're not doing anything in terms of growth.
All right, great. So how are you then arguing that they're similar to Orange Pill Wife? How are you then arguing that they're similar to the feminist movement? She wants us to tie together all her non sequiturs. Go ahead.
I've already explained that, right? They've already had throughout their plight, they've already handled the situations that they had to handle in order to get where they are now.
When did they handle them though? Black men have literally never fought for anything. I honestly don't see how y'all see all this black men fighting. They didn't.
So I have a question for you, Cynthia.
So Sinji and you will argue whether or not they did anything, but even to accept that they did, you are not arguing about what they did during the civil rights. You're arguing about the manosphere. You specifically said I was gaslighting when I said the manosphere and the feminist movement weren't similar. And you said I was gaslighting. You cannot then go to the civil rights movement as an example of what black men went through, even though you could say that is true and Sinji can say that's not true. That has nothing to do with the manosphere.
Wait, so hold on. We're talking about the black manosphere, right? So how is it that we can bring history for the feminist movement, but we can't bring history for the Black manosphere. That doesn't make any sense to me, right? If you're using history to describe feminism, then you have to use history to describe the manosphere. It just goes hand in hand.
Yes, the manosphere was started by white men, though. It wasn't started with black men. So black men are just essentially copying after white men, which is what they usually do.
Yeah, yes, I agree with that, Cynthia. Yes.
So technically, there's no history of
but see, this is you have to understand how Black men work, right? They tend to gravitate towards whoever is leading in a position higher than them. Right, that's why they gravitate towards white women, right? Because white women in society are considered higher than Black men, so they gravitate towards
women in society are white. White women in society are white. Most Black men hate being Black. That is why they gravitate towards white women, because they know that they will not produce Black children. That is why.
I'm not arguing that point.
On her own. I mean,
there's also other reasons why. It's just not.
What are the other reasons? What are the other?
I just explained one.
Wait, no.
What is it?
Wait. 1 second. I am so very much confused. There are two more people behind the scene, and I'll add them in a moment. Stacy, if this is too much, let us know and we can stop now.
No, I'm not angry or arguing. I'm listening and I'm just responding.
All right, good. No, I just don't want you to feel attacked.
Oh, trust me, I don't feel any way.
All right, great. So you do understand when we were talking about the manosphere not being like the feminist movement, we're talking about why the manosphere was created, right? And why the feminist movement was created.
Okay.
All right. You cannot then say the manosphere was created to address the wrongs from the civil rights movement. Because those in your mind,
I didn't say that.
Yeah, no.
Especially when Black men were leading the civil rights movement. So are you saying that Black men, you essentially started the manosphere to combat what they started with the manosphere?
No. So the manosphere started, and they always say this: the manosphere started because they want their voices to be heard, right?
Their voices have been heard, though.
Well, that's what I'm not negating any of that. What they said they started the manospheres because they want their voices to be heard. That's what they're saying all the way.
Right, but they're lying. So why are you believing what they're saying? They're lying.
Okay, whether they're lying or not, that's neither here nor there.
Here's my question. Here's my question.
Can I ask you a question? The manosphere, right?
I know, but can I ask you a question? Because this is a question that I've been wanting to ask Black women in general. Why would you just believe something that Black men say on its face? Why would you believe it?
I'm not believing anything they say on its face.
But
if you come across every man, whether it's white, Black, Hispanic, Asian, and they're in the manosphere, they're going to tell you we want our voices to be heard.
Most of those groups that you just mentioned are not in the manosphere. And if they are in the manosphere, it's very different than what Black men are doing.
But every man that you come across that talks about the manosphere, they say it's created based on.
What is the main purpose of the manosphere? The Black one. What's the main purpose?
From what they say, their voices to be heard.
From what you see them doing, what is the main purpose?
To be honest, I don't see any purpose.
Right.
I honestly don't. But
so why exactly? So if you don't see a purpose with your eyes, why are you believing what Black men say? If what Black men say is contradicting what you see with your own eyes?
Okay, Cynthia, just because I'm telling you what they say their manosphere was created and backed by doesn't mean I completely believe it. I'm just saying.
But you're advocating for it. I know, but you're advocating for it as if you believe it. I know, but you're advocating for the manosphere based on what they're telling you, not based on what you're saying.
No, I'm not advocating for any.
You did.
No.
Because you said they said that it's for this. They said that. That's why I asked you, what do you see with your own eyes? Because Black men are very deceptive, especially in the manosphere, and they lie 99.9% of the time. So that's why I asked you, what do you see the purpose as? Because I'm not thinking about what they're saying. I don't listen to what Black men are saying.
Do I.
Wait,
let me break.
Are you playing devil's advocate, Stacy?
No, I'm not. I'm trying to. Okay, so we keep moving the goalpost, right? And because we're moving the goalpost, the topic gets changed, right?
Pause. To not move the goal, the Black manosphere is not centered around fighting racism or oppression. So how is Black men complaining about Black women and Black relationship the same as white fighting against patriarchal oppression? Yeah, this is my issue, right? Okay. If we're going back to the manosphere / feminist movement, right? And that's where that's where we started, right?
Yes.
You're saying that the manosphere is similar to the feminist movement. I keep asking you how, and you keep saying you already explained it. If I'm asking you how, it's because I didn't get how you have explained it. So when I ask you how again, if you say you have explained it before, that means to me you're not willing to do so anymore. And so I'm going to move on.
No, I mean,
How
okay, go ahead.
is the feminist movement similar to the manosphere?
Okay, so if we're talking about strictly the Black manosphere, right? If they're telling you that the reason why they've created this manosphere is to have their voices heard, that's obviously them talking about their oppression, whatever that is, right? And
all right, wait. So that right there, the whatever that is important. Are you saying that you believe they're fighting for similar rights as women were fighting for?
No. Oh, wait. The Black manosphere?
Yeah.
Well, the Black manosphere was just created, but Black men, yes.
No, the Black manosphere.
But that was just created, right?
Yes,
That was like recently created.
And that's what I was talking about. Wait, and that's what I was talking about when you said I was gaslighting the people when I said the Black manosphere, the manosphere was not similar to the feminist movement. Again, how is the Black manosphere, as you've articulated, which was recently created, similar to the feminist movement?
Because they're still they're fighting for similar wages, are they not?
What? The Black manosphere, the manosphere is fighting for wages.
That's what I'm asking. I'm asking you, are they?
No,
I don't understand the manosphere completely.
You are the one who made the assertion that they're similar. Is the Black manosphere fighting for wages?
To increase their wages, yes. Black men are not fighting to increase their wages? You don't think so?
You send me the video and I'll concede to it. Even one video and I'll concede to it.
That they're not that they're fighting for wages. I can YouTube any link to show you a Black man fighting for wages.
Send me the link of the Black manosphere fighting to increase their Black men's wages, and I will concede to it.
Okay, give me 1 second.
All right. She interchanges Black men in history with them. Yeah, that's what she's doing, and that's disingenuous. But I want to see the video of Black men online in the manosphere fighting for wages. Oh, I did not kick her off, just FYI.
You're not ashamed of yourself. Are you not embarrassed? This is really embarrassing.
You haven't said a word, and all this stuff she just got through saying about Black men, which ain't true, by the way. All of these people, if you Black, you got a Black daddy, and you came out of a Black dick and some Black balls.
No, I didn't. I was actually
No. I'm not doing this. What, Trey? That with you, right? You are not. You can't have this conversation. I'm sorry. I'm going to skip you, Black Love. I will come back to you, but I really wanted to get to Tony.
Okay. Hello?
Yep.
Yeah, I can tell you what the Black manosphere is fighting for.
Wait.
They're fighting to vote Republican and to not be stepfathers.
They're what?
They're fighting to vote Republican and to not be stepfathers.
Why would a man have to fight to not be a stepfather? Just don't be a stepfather. Wait, I didn't remove him. I promise I did not remove him. Both hands were out. But I'm sorry. I was not ready. I actually thought he was going to come up and drag me for being a homosexual. Like, literally, that's what he's been saying in the chat. So I thought he was going to be like, you homosexual, right? Like, I thought that was what was going to happen. But this man came up here and said, the manosphere is fighting to not be stepfather. Who is forcing you to be stepfather?
There is a Black manosphere conspiracy that there was a movie called, a little short from Disney called The Stepfather. And the stepfather was played by a Black man, and Disney had to turn off the comments on that because Black men were commenting and saying that white America is trying to paint an image. He moved into her home, like he was moving his boxes into the home with her and taking care of her kids. And Black men said that this was subjugation through media, and it's conditioning you to want to take care of someone else's children.
All right, look, Tony. Thank you, Patty. I appreciate the explanation. I didn't hear any of it, but I'm gonna say this, Tony. I am so sorry. I did not mean to laugh. I did not mean to laugh. I cannot conceive of needing a movement to tell people to not be stepfathers. Like that.
Exactly.
My brain is not fully understanding. So I shouldn't have laughed. My bad. please come back and explain to me why y'all need a movement to tell y'all that being a stepfather is bad. Because I didn't know being a stepfather was bad. So like I have so many questions. Why don't you want to be a stepfather? Why do you need a movement to to not be a stepfather? Like
Right.
I am concerned. So please come back. Hello, brother Fruitcake. You looking fine as always. Carrying you be having my dusty father fuming with your points. Keep it up. Great job. Not my father. Stacey, did you find that video?
Okay, so
No. Did you find that video? Did you?
I was answering the question.
Yes, it's a yes or no question. Put it in
specifically find. Okay, I'll put it in the chat.
The private chat. You got it? You said you didn't specifically find what? Your mic is cutting out, by the way. I'm not just trying to be rude. So you're muted, Stacey. I did not kick her out again. I promise I didn't kick her out. I was looking in the private chat to see if there was a video. There is not a video. All right, Stacey's back. Stacey.
Sorry, I'm having trouble with this stuff. Sorry about that.
All right. So did you find the video?
No, I'll answer that.
right.
However, okay, go ahead.
No, I mean, yeah, go ahead.
So I think I understand where it's where we're seeing a difference of opinion, because how I see it, you know how the Black Panther Party, they were fighting for the rights of Black men, Black women, whatever the case may be, and that's how I was seeing it, as like somewhat of a manosphere as well, because they were fighting for Black male rights, right?
Wait.
So
so your comparison is with the Manosphere and the Black Panther Party?
No, I'm not making a comparison. So basically how I'm envisioning it is me understanding the Black Panthers and how they fought for Black male rights, just as Black women's rights, and going into what the Manosphere are fighting today. It's just changing hands. You see what I'm saying? Or does it doesn't make sense?
I don't know what the Manosphere are fighting for today.
Yeah, I thought they were fighting for, wages, but the Black Manosphere today isn't fighting for wages, right? But the Black Panthers did.
All right, so you were trying to put what the Black Panthers were doing with the Manosphere.
Yeah, because nobody called it the Manosphere, right? They were still fighting for Black male rights, right?
Yeah,
but they weren't calling it the Manosphere.
But you can't just say this has a new name today, because the Black Panthers are not the Manosphere.
Did you hear somebody at the door?
Hello?
Yeah, I'm listening. Yeah, but somebody was talking. I don't know. They said something.
The Black Panthers were not the Manosphere.
Were they not fighting for Black male rights?
Who?
The Black Panthers.
Yeah, they were. I think they were fighting for Black people's rights, but sure.
Yeah.
But how is that the Manosphere?
So that's what I'm telling you. So I was basically, the way I was envisioning it was the Black Panthers were doing this, right? And since the Black Panthers no longer exist, they were then in turn just naming themselves the Manosphere. That's how I understood the Manosphere to be, right? Because I don't have a very a huge understanding of what the Manosphere is, right?
Okay, but that's where I'm going to have a problem. If you don't have a good understanding of what the Manosphere is, and someone who I think I do, but I say they're not comparable to what is happening with the feminist movement, and you say that I am gaslighting. Do you see how that statement is just inappropriate and out of order?
If you're gaslighting,
you said I was gaslighting because I said the feminist movement and the
had no similarities. That's what you said.
Similar.
And I said they are. You even agreed with the other guy that they have some similarities. And am I saying they're the same?
Wait. Which guy did I agree with about them being similar?
I don't know. The guy just came up. They have similarities. We can't deny that.
Prince Petty, did I agree with you? You can get off mute. Did I agree with you that the Manosphere and the feminist movement are similar?
We specifically said they're not comparable.
All right.
Hey, can I?
Wait, Stacey, do you I don't understand what's happening.
Or maybe rather the similarities are negligible. And even if you agree that there are similarities, that would push the conversation to the next point of how vastly different they are and why they aren't very comparable.
And to the extent I said they were similar, it would mean you can say every single movement is similar, every last one of them. So that's when I say similarities, to the extent they exist, are minuscule and irrelevant of being pointed out, because every single movement, every single thing could be similar in that way. So, Stacy, do you understand now?
Yes, I understand.
All right. I mean, you can still believe they're similar if you want, but I'm just saying for me.
I'm not saying there's an in-depth similarity, like everything is similar, but there are certain similarities, is what I was just saying.
I'm trying to get you to tell us what those similarities are.
Again, I told you that the way I was viewing it, and this is why we probably had a sever in communication, is because...
Wait, that's what I'm saying. You said you don't know about the manosphere, but you're willing to come on here with 1,300 people watching and say they are similar as an affirmative declaration, while also saying, I don't know much about the manosphere.
No, that's not what I'm... Okay, so from my understanding, what I was telling you, from my understanding, that the manosphere was fighting for their own, you know, whatever their oppressions are, right? That was what I was gathering from what the manosphere was, right? And I was comparing them to the Black Panthers, and that was my mistake, right? Because the Black Panthers were fighting for male rights, right? And I thought that's what the manosphere was. I just told you I was wrong about that instance. But if they are doing that, there are similarities, and the Black Panthers
they're not fighting for voting rights, so they're not doing that.
Okay.
And so do you understand how they're not similar then?
Yeah, I understand.
All right, thank you. Rob, I think wanted to say something to you, but before he does, Rob, remind me you're next. I need to read the super chats because I kind of just skipped through them and I said I would read them.